Hey guys, Travis here,
And Cartoon Joe.
and this is week 2 of our 30-day diet challenge within the keto diet. Joe, how has the diet been for you? I want to dive right into it because there's a couple things I do want to make sure we talk about, and we want to make sure this is long enough to get the information out there, but not too long where people get a little bit bored of hearing us talk.
Oh, for sure.
So, week 1 into keto. This is the first time you're doing keto, so I definitely want to hear how you felt about the diet and the commitment to it and everything.
Honestly, I've really enjoyed it so far. We've been trying to find ways to satisfy some of my cravings and things.
Mhm.
Lady Science whipped up some keto ginger snap cookies that
Oh, there
I've
you
been
go.
at the time. Yeah, so that's been pretty tasty. And I really missed bread, and I finally found that keto bread at Aldi's you were telling me about. So I had a nice tuna melt sandwich on Saturday, so that was pretty good too.
Yeah,
So it's
that
been great. Oh, go ahead.
no, I was gonna say like that bread is probably the closest thing to like normal bread that I've ever found ever doing the keto diet,
Oh,
and
absolutely.
you actually found a recipe for bread yourself that you tried. You posted it up on the Freakin' Journey page on Facebook. But it's no matter what recipe you use, nothing compares to that actual bread because it is sandwich bread. It's toast. I mean, it's consistency that you look for when you're making a sandwich or wanting to eat bread.
Absolutely, yeah. I enjoyed the keto bread that I made. It was way better than I expected, but it was fine. And if you're on
Mhm.
a budget, it was pretty cheap to make. It was only an egg, a little bit of flour, almond flour is what I used.
Yeah.
So you can use coconut or a combination of both, and a few other simple ingredients. I think maybe some baking powder and some salt, and that's it. So it's
Mhm.
pretty cheap to make. It takes about 90 seconds to make a whole loaf, if you will, and a loaf will give you four half-inch slices. Maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, depending on what mug you cook it in. But
Yeah.
it was fine. It is not nearly as good as the Aldi stuff, and honestly, I think I found it at my Aldi's for a little less than $4,
Yeah.
which not cheap, but it's honestly for the effort,
Yeah.
it's worth the price.
It's one of the more expensive things to get on keto, and that's one of the things like how we try to look at it like while we're doing this is being price conscious when we're doing it, and um a lot of things on keto is pretty normal stuff. Like in a day, like what I normally eat is bacon or eggs, cream cheese, and vegetables and stuff like that. I always try to mix those things into my diet, and I always aim for cream cheese because it seems like the best go to get that fat count.
Oh yeah.
And it's when you're trying to find those substitutes for those things they're not supposed to, especially carb related stuff. That's where like that price kind of dives into it. And then you can definitely tell the difference. And like, I hope at some point within these 30 days, you get an opportunity to try making like keto pancakes.
Oh yeah, I've been
Um,
looking at recipes. I think
yeah.
I actually might what I might do is I might take that keto bread and I might make keto French toast as a reward to myself on Saturday.
What you plan on just using creamer or almond milk or
Uh well, I'll probably just use plain old eggs without adding anything to them, and then I'll dip the bread in and toast it in a pan. The thing that I'm still figuring out is how I'm going to do syrup. So
well, they
because
do got sugar. They got sugar free syrup you can get.
that's true. That's true. I might
It's
look
just
into
not the
that.
same. It's not the same
It's
whatsoever.
not the same. I've had some sugar-free syrup before. It's doable,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's a bit like tofu. So
Well,
just give me the thing. Don't pretend to be something you're not.
so what have you found to be your struggle so far in this past week? Is there something that you know you're supposed to be doing that you haven't done, or a craving that you couldn't avoid so far into it? Has there been that one moment?
Honestly, I haven't had that yet. I guess there was about halfway through the week, I really wanted cookies, and that's why we ultimately made the ginger snaps. But I don't think we made them until after we got back from the grocery store on Saturday. So,
Oh, gotcha.
um, I made it through the whole week pretty okay. One thing that I've really appreciated is my whole life I've struggled with my appetite. I mean, we're from a family where food is often the medicine that we use to treat everything, right? And so I've never had the ability to if I'm hungry, I eat, because otherwise I get pissy and no one wants to be around that, and I don't even want to be around that. I don't want to be around myself when I'm in food. But I've noticed this week, I've been using my Fitness Pal, and it's been calculating my calories, and I've been coming in consistently 400, 500, 600 calories shy of what I'm allowed to have for the day. And it hasn't been, I haven't been hungry. I've got a lot more ability to manage my appetite than I have in my entire life. So that's been really great.
How about following the strict keto? Have you been focusing a lot on the net carbs and all that?
Yep. So I've actually, what I've been trying to do is, regardless of the net carbs, I've been trying to keep my carb load under 50 grams.
Yeah.
Just totally under 50 grams. And if you subtracted out the net carbs, I am probably coming in around 10, 15 grams of carbs a day. Okay. So I feel like I'm doing a pretty good job, of mostly, if I consume carbs, it is primarily in the form of dietary fiber.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's one of the downfalls to the Fitness Pal app within keto using the net carbs, because when you're calculating or inputting your food into the app, it doesn't calculate out net carbs. It gives you the carb count. And it's like mom went shopping at Sam's Club and bought some of the, I think it's called Bai drinks or whatever, BAI.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
right.
yeah, actually, I got one right here. Amazing.
They're
not
delicious.
Not a sponsor yet. But when you look at it, like, so if I put this into the Fitness Pal app, it has 11 total carbs, but net carbs is 1. So it's one of those tricky things that, like, how do you factor in, like, how do you want to move forward, like, with the fitness app and how you do stuff? Because we agree, you're working on the strict diet. I'm doing the more the dirty side of it, just making sure I get the fat content and everything in there. So with 11 grams of carbs, I mean, like, it realistically in my fitness app, that takes a majority of my carbs for the day. When you look at the net carb and everything, then it's like, okay, well, it's only 1. It's not totally bad.
Right.
But when you put your stuff into the fitness app, like, are you finding, like, as you're putting it in, you're actually hitting your macros, like, perfectly? Or do you look at, like, okay, I need a little more protein, okay, I need a little less fats, and, like, trying to make sure everything balanced out? And, like, so, like, what I do is, like, I make a meal, my first meal of the day, which I've been really into, ham and cheese omelets with an avocado. And it's weird because, like, my macros are, when it's carb, fat, protein, it's 570 20. So that meal in a day, that omelet and avocado, my first meal, my macros come out to like 766 and whatever the hell, the protein 23 or 33 or whatever it is. So it's really, like, really close to being on there, and that's where it kind of focuses into, now I got to incorporate more fats into throughout the day, which I always try to get more carbs in the morning, and then the rest of the day I could lean towards fats and, like, a little bit of protein and stuff here. So
yeah, I've been coming in close. I'm within about 3% per category of hitting them perfectly. I've been coming in actually under the 10% mark for carbs. I'm doing 70, 20, 10. I've been pretty consistently getting the about 8 to 10% on carbs. Fat, I've been between usually 67 and 70%. I haven't really gone over on fat. And then protein, I'm finding that I'm coming in closer to 25% a lot of the time. On protein. But I've been eating a lot of chicken and vegetables or something like that. Just the last few days. Last week I was following that meal plan a lot more strictly, and last week I was it was almost perfect every day, within like 1 or 2% of my macros, without ever going over on carbs. The one thing that I'm trying to focus on is not going over on carbs. Everything else, I don't mind if I get a little bit of extra protein. I think that's okay.
Yeah.
As the primary is fat, and as long as my carbs stay low. So
yeah, and that's the biggest thing, is, like, like, you just want to focus on making sure that out of all 3, carbs is your absolute lowest, and the the carbs are supposed to come from the vegetables and the fruits and like stuff like that, and like even avocados and stuff, even though they're high in fat, it's still a little high in carbs. So
Yeah.
the only
My carbs are coming at breakfast, same as you too, by the way. I've been making every few days I make a veggie and goat cheese frittata.
nice.
Yeah.
You ever eat avocado toast? I always think like, Joe's an avocado toast guy.
I am not an avocado toast guy. I
No?
love avocado. I love toast. I really don't like them together all that much. My wife, on the other hand, absolutely loves it. But no, I don't. I just like avocado on its own. I don't want anything to take away from it.
Yeah, no, see, when I eat my avocado in the morning, I put a little Velvetina or
Tabasco?
Tapatio. Tapatio, there we go. I throw a little of that on there, a little salt, and if I have it, I'll squeeze some lime on it, but I haven't had lime. Yeah, my challenge for this past week that I really need to focus on has been my water intake. I've definitely been lagging on that, but I think I figured out a system. I'm trying it today for the first time to see if I can like really stick to it, because obviously I think like I mentioned in the last episode, is there's different variables on how you're supposed to intake water into your system. You can either have eight ounce glasses, and that's the norm, or you do half your body weight in ounces. So, half my body weight in ounces is 210, it's 210 ounces. So what I decided I wanted to do, what's up?
It's more than a gallon of water.
Oh yeah, it's roughly about 5.5 quarts. Yeah. So what I decided to do, and I'm going to see how it works starting today. I have these 5-quart containers that I have in my fridge, like my tea and lemonade and stuff like that. So what I do every night is I fill one of those 5 quarts up. It gives me about 160 quarts, and I have my big Bubba mug here.
Oh, nice.
It's about 32 ounces. So it's about 192 ounces of water. So what I do right before I go to bed, I make sure that's filled up to about 5 quarts, put it in the fridge, and then I have the 32-ounce mug I take to bed with me. First thing I do when I wake up in the morning is I drink the 32 ounces, so I get that out of the way. Plus, it kind of flushes and rehydrates you for the night before. And then I focus on making sure I drink those 5 quarts throughout the day and just spread it out. I'll still drink like teas and stuff throughout the day and make sure, I get that alternative that, for like almost like a sweet kind of taste for like the sugar-free lemonade and stuff like that. But if I just spread it out, every 3 hours or whatever I'm awake, I have the water there, and I can just go fill up my my 32-ounce mug, which is a quart every time, and just make sure I down it. And then a few hours later, same thing. So I'm trying that today. So far, so good. This is my 3rd one for the day. So I'm really excited about really diving more into the water. But let's talk about weight real quick. So I started out at 421. Joe, what did you start out again?
I started out at 223.
All right. And where are you at today? 1 week later.
So I actually wanted to talk about water because I think this is a
go ahead. Yeah, I didn't think you had an issue with water. Yeah.
It ties into my weight thing. So I was really good about water the first 3 or 4 days, and then over the weekend I kind of got bad about it. What I've been doing is I've got a 20-ounce Brita filter water bottle.
Okay.
So I fill it up, I drink it. It's 20 ounces. And the first few days, I was at 223, so I had to have about 112 ounces of water a day, using the body weight calculation. And so I drink 5-6 of those a day, plus my coffee, plus whatever else, and that covers my liquid intake.
Yeah.
And so I was doing really, really well. And the last few days, I've kind of dropped off of it. Especially yesterday, I don't think I drank very much water. Sunday, I don't think I drank very much water. And so today, when I weighed in, I weighed in at 214.2 ounces. So that's a loss of about 9.9 ounces or 9.9 pounds, which is great. But I weighed myself immediately before the show. Now that I've had some breakfast, I've drank some coffee, I've had about 3 or 4 glasses of water, and I'm back at about 219. So I've really only lost about 4 pounds if you take water weight into consideration.
Yeah. Well, and that's the biggest thing, like, especially like when it comes to like weighing, you always want to weigh yourself at the exact same time every day. And you always want to make sure like you're wearing like the same kind of clothing. You want to like weigh it in the same area. And And
Yep.
that's where like I'm having an issue, at least for this week's weigh-in, because my scale did happen to break
Right.
last week. So um it I don't know how accurate it is. I did a bunch of different variables to try to make it work because it's just one of the legs, and the way the scale works is you need all four legs to be level and even and all that. Um, so I tried to do a bunch of different things to try to make it work and see how I figured it out. Right now, I'm gonna go with the 415 number, so it puts me down about 6 pounds so far for the week.
Nice.
But there's so many variables that fluctuate your weight even throughout the day. And the weird thing that I found out even my first time doing keto, when you go to the bathroom, you actually add weight. Your weight actually goes up. It's the weirdest thing. If you ever get a
I,
chance, it's a gross thing to talk about for the moment, but I've done this. I talked about my journal entry. I even talked about it to a lot of people. Weigh yourself right before you go number two. You drop your deuce. Weigh yourself.
sure.
When you weigh yourself again, you're gonna gain about 2 or 3 pounds.
Interesting.
It's a
That's
weird thing. Yeah, it's a weird thing. That's why they always say like weigh yourself first thing in the morning, with as limited clothes as possible, and the scales in the same spot
Oh,
because it's gonna give you yourself the true like weight. And then obviously, yeah, you do gain a lot of weight from water weight, but like when you're sleeping, it's like that's where it kind of like escapes you because you're sweating and everything.
right. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I've been weighing myself in the nude, except for my glasses, in
Hmm.
the same bathroom every morning. It'll be like right after I pee for the first time. So like, usually about 6:30, 7 o'clock, somewhere in there. And yeah, so that's from that perspective, I've lost about 10 pounds, which I'm thrilled about. I mean,
Yeah.
I can see myself in the video here. My face is starting to look much thinner already, which is that's usually where I lose weight first, is in my face. So that's cool, and I'm really excited about it. But it's just like it's one of those things where it's like, okay, cool. So if I can consistently lose 5 to 10 pounds, then I'll hit my goal, and maybe even better.
Mhm.
And if most of it's water weight, that's cool. That doesn't bother me that much because I'm still, even if it's just water weight, I'm still about 4 pounds down.
Yeah.
So that's
Well,
good. I'm
and
happy
that's the
with that.
thing too is like the water's not turning into fats and everything into your system. It's gonna flush out.
Right.
But yeah, no, I'm glad, awesome. And that a 9 pound drop is huge, especially in your
Right.
first week. Um, so you didn't give a goal weight last week because you wanted to see how the numbers looked for you. Do you have a projected goal weight for next week now? Like how much you want to drop next week?
Yeah, I'd like to. My goal is 5 pounds. Knowing that last week I didn't exercise really at all. This week I'm planning to start my exercise routine.
Yeah.
And last week I was pretty good about my water. I'm going to try and be good about my water this week. And so if I'm weighing myself with water in my system, with enough water in my system, I probably only lost about 5 pounds. And so that's what I'm shooting for. If I lose more than that, great. If I lose a little bit less, that's okay. But I'm shooting for 5 pounds less. So hopefully next week when I weigh myself, I'll be around 209, 210. That'd be fantastic.
Awesome, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna stick to the 5 pound goal. I think that's consistent with how my body works. If I take six like I did this week, I'll be okay with it. But at the same time, I'm a little bit worried to get the new scale and all of a sudden that number gets completely thrown off. So,
Mm-mm.
but it's not going to be here for 2 more days. So I think as long as I stick to my diet and keep everything consistent, I'm on the same boat with you. I haven't really started my exercise routine yet. I have been really active, like in the yard and keeping busy. But I
Nice.
really want to get into that DDP yoga again, which I'll probably start. It's a Sunday start kind of workout, so I'll probably start it next Sunday, just because I got some outdoor work I got to do, so I can always stay active, stay fit, stay moving, just make sure I get my numbers and stuff like that on my Fitbit. But yeah, so shoot for 5 pounds. You're gonna shoot for 5 pounds. Um, any other goals you're gonna try to reach? Want to try new different things? Any recipes or any way you think like, hey, this past week I did this, but maybe this week I'm gonna try to alternate a little bit and try something different.
Uh, Not really. Not really. Uh, I'm trying to change my diet just a little bit more in terms of what I'm eating.
Yeah.
Because last week, so I think I talked about this last week. Our grocery bill is usually $100 for 2 weeks.
Hmm.
And with the meal plan, it was really a meal plan for about 5 days, maybe 10, since it's just me doing it.
Yeah.
And I was almost out of food by Saturday, and so it's almost doubled our grocery bill at this point, compared to what we normally have.
Gotcha.
We went to the grocery store again. I spent about $80 this time, and I tried to buy a lot more cheaply, and I tried to focus on the things that I can eat a lot of without it impacting me a lot. So like cauliflower, I got 2 heads of cauliflower. I got 3 dozen eggs. I got a lot more chicken thighs than I got last time. So I'm trying to stretch it a little bit more and make this, now I've spent so basically about $200, and I'm trying to make that $200 last 3 weeks instead of just $100 for 1 week. So I'm trying to find it a little bit cheaper. So I've got some sardines. I'm gonna have I'm gonna try. There's a recipe from Alton Brown that is avocado toast with sardines on it. So I'm gonna try that with the keto bread. That's actually gonna be my lunch today, is what I'm planning. So that'll be pretty good. I'm not really following the same meal plan as last week. I've been having basically sautéed chicken and vegetables for the last couple of nights for dinner. So yeah, I'm mixing it up a little bit, seeing if I can do it a little bit more cheaply, a little bit more efficiently.
Gotcha. Yeah. I think for me this week, I'm going to try to broaden my meals and stuff more. I really and the thing is, like, my meals have really been consistent and repetitive over the last week, just because right before we did this, I went shopping and bought a bunch of like keto type foods, because even though I wasn't doing the diet, I always kind of reverted back to keto.
Yeah.
So it was just like, it was really like getting through like the lunch meats and stuff that I bought before it went bad.
Right.
So really, I mean, the only reason I've been having ham and cheese omelets is because I bought a pound of ham that really needs to, it needs to go away before it gets bad. And the same thing to the avocados. I bought 5-6 avocados just because they're on sale, but avocados don't last that long. So it's like just
eating. When they're on sale, there's a reason.
Yeah, so it's a repetitiveness of just eating the same foods over and over. But starting this week, I'm going to broaden a little bit more. I'm going to pull up some old recipes. The keto pizza has always been one of my favorite things to make. So I'm going to make that, but I might make it into like a buffalo chicken kind of pizza with ranch and buffalo sauce instead of marinara. Obviously, the mozzarella cheese and some shredded chicken and stuff like that. I'm going to try that this week and just broaden my
group. You mind posting that recipe group?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'll put it up on the Freakin Journey Facebook page, which you guys are listening to this. You're more welcome to join that. It's free, or it's open to the public. It's Our Freakin Journey. It's on Facebook, and I may even make my bacon wrapped jalapeno poppers too. So
nice.
Yeah, good weekend. I think it was a good week. I think this week is gonna be great, and I think over the next 3 weeks, we're gonna see keto succeed as much as it is, and yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah, great.
Me too. Good. Awesome.
Yep.
All right, guys. Hey, thanks for listening and sitting with us as we vlog our journey into our weight loss goals. I'm Travesty.
I'm Cartoon Joe.
Perfect. And we will catch you guys next week.